Well, that was hard work. Hello again. Oh, do that. Hello again. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. That was some hard work. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Anybody? You can. I know I didn't give you time to get over to Pornhub and watch a full clip. Sorry about that. Cool. Lucifer, please be my guest. You may all talk about me if you wish. I don't mind. I've heard about an app. I've heard about them trying to think of a app to give to people that have been diagnosed as being infected to see where they're going and to see who they're interacting with. But I don't know whether or not that's going to be necessarily allowed due to privacy concerns, but we don't know. Flag on the merchandising page again, Ray. I promise you, I'm not just saying it and not doing it. I promise you, I am trying to find some a supplier that will do them cheaper than I paid for it. And literally as soon as I can, I will let people know. But as I said in the live stream just now, the excuse me, the problem that I've got is I don't want people paying more than they have to. That's not what this is about. Do you know what I mean? I don't want people getting ripped off. It's not about me making a profit off of people either. I mean, a little bit helps. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. A couple of quid here and there all helps. It all goes back into the channel and it's all going to get new equipment and everything else. But I don't want people paying ridiculous amounts for things. I was watching a doctor. Is somebody that I've been subscribed to for ages called Chubby EMU. Cubbyemu. I think that's how you spell it. And he's been talking recently about the COVID-19 thing and that hydroxychloroquine. He was talking about that the other day in a video. A man and a woman, chubby EMU, that's it. A man and a woman drunk some what's it called? Chloroquine, because it's used to treat quick up for bacterial infections, and fish tank cleaner, but it's used to actually treat quick up, and they drunk it and they died. Now, I'm not saying that chloroquine isn't being used or trialed somewhere, as it may be, but this chubby EMU is really, really good. I enjoy watching his stuff, and he's very clever at the way he puts things across. But it might be worth going and checking out. Oh, did the woman not die? Oh, okay, I got that wrong. It comes from the same thing, Tony. It comes from the same, and this is one of the things that he explains in that video. He explains the how chloroquine comes from bark, and he explains how it was used by people to treat fevers and things like that. But it is very good. His videos are very, very interesting. But he talks about the differences. But I'm not a doctor. It's very difficult for me to explain it all. So it's best to go and watch it yourself. But there is some really good stuff on there at the moment. Anyway. Yeah, I have as well, Microsoft. I've been a subscriber on there for ages. Oh. So anyway, folks, I apologize once again for the end of that last live. That got a little bit out of hand. I don't know what else to say. Oh. Yeah, Discord. I've got President Trump. President Trump, was it, or Jay? I can't remember now. Somebody's going to help me with it. I have got it kind of set up, but I'm not 100% how to do it. So there it is. Yeah, President Trump can take time off from the White House to give me a hand. Crescio, that's one of the things that I've mentioned recently in one of my recent videos. The police's own guidance says that they are to wear PPE and not. So you need to stand up for your right not to be infected. If you're out and about and the police approach you, they are to stay 2 meters away. and you need to record it. And if they don't stay away, then you send me the video and we shame them. Technophobe. Monster spider just invited itself into your room. Right. Well, what shall we, or who shall we talk about? Of course you can go for a walk. Oh, well, she's back. The thing is, even the guidelines don't say that you can't go out more than once. You can go out as, listen, right? And I'm not trying, because I know some people are having a go and saying, oh, look, you're, you know, and I don't mind about them people having a go at me about people going out and being spreading it and all this, that, and the other. If you go out, which you can do, you can go out as long as you keep a distance from other people. There is nothing anybody can do. The only time they can do something is if, number one, they think that you're infected. But even if they think you're infected, they are supposed to take instruction from Public Health England. Okay, so that's the one thing. The second thing is if you're in a group of more than two, that's the only two things that the police can actually do. They can't stop you going out. They can't stop you from sitting down somewhere. They can't stop you for laying down on the fucking grass. Can they, Welshie? They can't do nothing about that. Well, Ian J. Watson, I was going to put some kind of like a small, like an A5 flyer together with information on, but that it's going to get destroyed in people's pockets after a couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I've tried to put what I can on the cards that I've made, the coronavirus ones, which just says that they can't, they've got no right to ask where you're going. They've got no right to ask where you've been. They've got no right to search you, and they can't do any of that stuff. And that's what I've put on the new cards. There's not a lot of room on here to put a great deal of information, so I've kind of just left it to the bare necessity. To explain to them that they can't do anything about it. But again, as you say, they don't know themselves. How are the fines being dealt out? Well, from what I can tell, the fines are being issued by the police incorrectly in most cases. Some of them are valid in the sense of the law, in the sense of the legislation, they're valid, but many of them aren't. I had an email from, and I'm not going to say the name, but I had an email from an ex-Merseyside police constable, sergeant, sorry, an ex-Merseyside police sergeant emailed me. And I think we've spoken before, but he emailed me a couple of days ago. And he said that he is disgusted with the way that the police are using Section 50 in order to get people's details, because there's nothing in the legislation that says that they can get your details unless they're giving you a fine. So what the police have resorted to is using Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. Section 50 of the Police Reform Act is for if you have, or if the police believe you have committed a public order offence. If you're going to the shop, you're not committing a public order offence. If you're going out for your third run of the day, you're not committing a public order offence. If you stand there tight-lipped and say nothing, you are not committing a public order offence. But the police are still trying to use Section 50 to say that you are, because they don't need evidence of it. So that is also mentioned on the new PAP cards, the coronavirus version ones. That actually states in there, if you cannot use Section 50 unless you've got proof that I have committed a public order offence. And of course, they won't be able to provide you with any proof unless you've committed a public order offence, which I don't suggest anybody does, because we don't want to give them any reason to have a go at us. I'm not 100% sure where the fines go, to be honest, Cop Watch. Oh, look, it's Leon. How are you, Leon? Sorry, I won't do it again. But I couldn't resist that. People accept it because they don't understand. They don't know what their rights are, and they're frightened of the police in many cases. I'm not trying. See, this channel and what I do is not about getting people out of trouble. So let me make that clear. What I do when I explain things, when I say to you, this is what you should say, this is what you need to do, it's not about getting people out of trouble. If you've done something wrong, then you've done something wrong. And if that wrongdoing deserves a fine or punishment or whatever it is, then you have to suck it up, buttercup. Do you know what I mean? If you don't want to be in trouble, don't do something wrong. But what I tend to try and concentrate on is when you've not done anything that deserves the punishment that you get, for example. So it's about teaching you how, more than anything, how to not get into that trouble in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But if you go out and you do something wrong, then, as I say, you have to suck it up and deal with it, you know. Yeah, exactly, Lee. Yeah, exactly. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. And I don't want, see, I want everybody to behave. That's the ultimate point of this channel. You know, if I can highlight where the police are going wrong, and whether any of them take any notice or not is another matter. But if I can highlight where police are going wrong and share that and shame, if you like, name and shame, we'll put it like that, then hopefully they'll go, well, actually, maybe I did that wrong. Maybe we shouldn't do it that way. I mean, it's unlikely, but, you know, at the end of the day, if there's a chance, then I'm willing to take it. But if you, but if you, as I say, if you do something wrong, then you need to suck it up and deal with the consequences of that. I want to try and teach people where I can what to do in order not to get in that position in the first place, whilst highlighting why the police shouldn't be doing what they do in certain situations. So thank you, Lego Batman. Appreciate that. Alan777, good evening. Can I do a collab with Crime Bodge? I don't know. I don't know if Crime Bodge likes my stuff. There's a lot going on at the moment with regards to human rights campaigners about these legislations and everything else. The human rights campaigners like Liberty, for example, are really good. In fact, they had the Section 44. It was down to them that Section 44 of the Terrorism Act got repealed. So there are people out there that are fighting the battle for us or with us in that respect, but it takes more of us. I think the more people who have a voice about it, the quicker we will start to see some kind of results. How to get the cards speaking poll. In the description of all of my videos is a PayPal link. All you need to do is click on that PayPal link, take you through to a page. On that page, you need to, there'll be a box for notes. Make sure you write your address in, how many you want. They come in tens, £3 per 10 at the moment. I've apologized about the slight price increase. Because the place where I normally get them from is not doing any promotions at the moment. So in order to cover the cost of the cards and the postage, I have to do them at £3 per 10. Yes, it is Daisy snoring. Yeah, police are the basis of the police are paid members of the citizens to police full time. originally the police force, police service, whatever you want to call it, we all had to do our part. Everybody had to do, I think it was a year. Everyone had to do it like 12 months as a police constable. But the rich people realised that while they were working as a police constable unpaid, they weren't making money. So what the rich people decided to do was to pay other people to do their stint as a bobby. It's a bit like if you think about jury service. Imagine it's your turn to go up on jury service. Imagine you didn't want to go because you're going to lose money and you pay somebody else to go in your place. Yeah, it's a bit like that. But the police were, the bobbies were supposed to be all of us. And we all supposed to do our stint. But as I say, the rich people decided to pay the poorer people to do their work for them. And that's how you started getting out. That's how we started with paid bobbies. David McCormack, that's where I'm getting them from, but got no deals on at the moment, unfortunately. And so because it's not a single, because it's a double one, which are more expensive, double-sided print and double the size of these ones, then they're more expensive at the moment, unfortunately, unless a deal comes through. If a deal comes through, I'll give everybody £1 back. But at the moment, there is no deals. And I want to get these out to people, and I'll have to cover the cost of postage as well. No Easter eggs for me, Lisa. I've had no Easter eggs at all. Okay, the what I call the PAP cards just come with some info on there. This is back to front, isn't it? Yes, it is. Comes with some info on there. We've got statement for police at the top, and on the bottom of the new ones has basically got a bit of information with regards to the coronavirus legislation, just to let them know that they can't arbitrarily fine you. They can't stop you and ask where you're going, where you're coming from. It doesn't matter how many times you've been out of your house. And it just reminds them of the basics that you need to be following, and providing you're following those basics, then they can't do fuck all, or they shouldn't be able to do nothing. And if they do, the chances are they've overstepped their mark. Budge, the cards proving Molly has just put a link with a bit of text, explains how to do that. I'd love to have had some Easter eggs. I don't like, I buy packets of crisps, as you can probably tell. But I'm not a huge chocolate eater. I don't often eat chocolate. But that's what they're designed for, Ian. They're obviously designed to designed ultimately for people who may not completely know their rights, and when they're faced with the police are not sure whether the police are infringing their rights or not. Well, the cards will help you and the police at the time know that you are going to film them and that you are going to hold them accountable if they abuse the position. Oh, thank you, Kerry. I'll scramble that one. See you later, Cop Watch UK. higher self, which is correct. Yeah, don't speak to them. The problem is a lot of people are intimidated by the police. Let me turn one of these lights off because it looks like I'm glowing. That's a bit better. The problem is a lot of people don't understand their rights themselves, and they're intimidated by police, and therefore to have something like the card, it gives them that little bit of confidence, if you like, to say nothing. Yeah, Lee Smith, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah, just tell the police what you know. Just tell them, just be honest with them. Just tell them what you've did. Cheers, Mum, grassing me up. Sash window. What was that? What have you done? If you've sent something and you've put the wrong address on it, and you want, if it's for cards, if it's for the new cards, email me using the same email address that you use for PayPal, so I can verify it, and give me your address in an email, and then I'll link the two. The cards should be with me midweek, so they should. Was that a donation, or was it to buy some cards, Sash window, just to verify? To buy cards. Okay, send me an email, as I say, off the same email address that you use to pay for the cards, and just put your address in there, and I'll link the two together. Thank you, Sash window. Appreciate that. If you're having a problem with the stream, try refreshing your page. That tends to work in most cases. I'm not actually using StreamYard for this one. I'm using the actual YouTube Studio Live. Oh, goodness me, Lucifer. You're as bad as Joe and Holly. The cards, I've got people asking, if you go to the community tab of my page, of my YouTube account, if you go to my main YouTube account, and you go to the community section in the tabs near the top, The last post that I put on there today explains what they are and shows you a picture of them, so it's a little bit easier rather than me trying to explain it. Yeah, that's Vistaprint's where I'm getting them from. I did try another company that was a little bit cheaper. It's just that I'm having trouble with their template. So I've emailed them to ask them to sort it out for me, but there's nothing I can do at the moment until they get back to me. And with everybody, you know, working on skeleton staff at the moment for safety reasons, it's a little bit difficult to get anything done quickly at the moment. Yeah, they've been putting in more wooden flooring. Not more. Oh. 25 past 11 and they're hoovering. Goodness me. Is something, yeah, is this still running? Nobody talking? Oh, there we go. Oh, you just had to look at it, Welshie, yeah? To get the cards, what you do is in the description of all my videos or in the post on the community page, there's a PayPal address. You click on that PayPal address, takes you through to, it's called Earn Like a Pro Limited. Do it as friends and family, otherwise PayPal nick some of it. So do it as friends and family, but make sure you write your address in. PayPal doesn't always send me your address, so you have to make sure that you write your address in there, and that's all you need to do. There's a pre-order at the moment. The cards the cards will be with me at some point this week, hopefully midweek. So I'm hoping to get everybody's cards out to them on the same day, and hopefully that will be before the weekend. I do have Bitcoin wallet. I trade, well, I haven't for a while, but I trade cryptocurrency. Goodness me. So I'm gonna speak to well, I'll have some on Wednesday anyway. Well, they should be here Wednesday, but yeah, if you want some, just do the process as and when. I'll know what it's for anyway, because that's the only thing I use PayPal for. And just tell me how many cards that you want. because some people do donations through PayPal, which are not for anything. Do you know what I mean? So when you do that, make sure you let me know how many cards you want so that I know it's for the cards. Because if you don't tell me it's for the cards, I might think it's just a donation, which I'll thank you for. But then you won't get your cards. Ian, no worries. No problem at all. Thank you. If you've not got PayPal, is there another way? Yes, there is. You can email me and I will send you, if you email me, policeabusingpowers@gmail.com, let me know what you want. So just say in it, I want to buy some cards. I haven't got PayPal, and I'll send you bank details, and then you can just do a bank transfer. More than happy to do that. Yeah, the live chat does seem to be stalling every now and again, and then all of a sudden running through. Good night, Liana. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. Well, most people, CW, most people will, they're buying the cards, most people. Although I do get some donations and some support through PayPal, most of them are for cards. So if somebody doesn't tell me that it's for, you know, if somebody gives me a £5, for example, and they just want, then they're only going to get 10 cards because that's all, because they're £3 for 10, if you see what I mean. But if somebody gave me a tenner, for example, but didn't tell me how many cards they wanted, then I would send them 30 cards and take the £1 as a tip. So good night, Liana. It does have a cam, Adrian. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet though. No worries, Lego Batman. Thanks for joining us. Sorry it went a bit pear-shaped earlier in the earlier one, but thanks for sticking around. Appreciate it. Devon, I love Devon. It's lovely down there, Devon and Cornwall. I went to Newquay once. I know that's not quite, it's like Cornwall, isn't it? I think my geography is terrible, but I went to Newquay once with a friend when I was about 20. We got absolutely blottoed, absolutely off our faces, and we went surfing while we was completely twisted, and we ended up getting rescued by the helicopter because we paddled out a bit too far, and we were so pissed we couldn't get back in again. So the helicopter had to come and rescue us. Stephen, I miss a lot of questions, mate. I'm sorry. It's nothing personal. Please don't take anything personal if I don't see your questions. There is so many sometimes. It is very difficult. Is it about money or justice? Is what about money or justice, Steve? You mean the cards? You mean selling the cards? Is that what you mean? Gaza, it's the same PayPal address that's in the description and all my videos. It's about, I don't know, it's about Arthur. I don't know, it's about 7 or 8 lines down in the description. You mean this? You mean, Stephen, do you mean the channel, you mean? Is the channel about making money or is it about justice? Is that what you mean? Yeah, okay. It's about making people aware of their rights. It's about holding police that abuse their powers to account. That's what it's about. The PAP cards, these things, I make about 30 pence on, maybe 30 pence on each 10. Okay. And that's literally because if you say these are £2 each, the pound covers the cost of the other pound covers the cost of the postage, which is like 70p or something, 70 something p for a stamp. And the rest of it goes in a pot in order to buy more. Yeah. So I don't actually make anything on these at all. People help with donations, which is fabulous. Again, that money doesn't go to me as such. I mean, it does, but I'm not going out and buying new trainers with it. Do you know what I mean? Or decorating my house with it or anything like that. Any money that comes into the chat. No, I'm just explaining. That's all right. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Any money that comes in is to continue being able to provide you with this. You know, I want to get a decent camera. At the moment, I'm using a webcam, which is actually showing up quite well at the moment. But it doesn't always work that way, as some people will attest to. In fact, it's actually back to front as well. I need to get a decent camera. I need to buy some proper lights because the batteries run out on these sometimes. You know, there's all different bits and pieces, but anything that is given to the channel, and I say at the moment because in the future, I don't know, I might get to 100,000 subscribers and people might support with enough money for me to be able to have a little bit left over. Do you know what I mean? I'm never gonna lie about that to anybody. Do you know what I mean? If I'm making a profit, then I'll tell people, you know. But this is like 12 hours a day I spend doing what I do to get videos out to you. Yeah, no, Tambam, there's nothing about making money. It's just, as I say, it's a case of, for me, it's a case of getting everything I need in order to make this better for you guys. Thank you, Phil. It's very kind of you. But it's all about making this better for you. I want to be able to. I've got a room in there. I want to get a green screen. The problem with the room is it's empty and it's very echoey, which means I need to buy some soundproofing. Do you see what I mean? So all of anything that I get into the channel is going on making this better. And if I have, as I say, if I get to a point where I'm making money, once I've got everything that I need, then brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Very grateful, and it pays for my time. But at the moment, I don't make anything myself personally out of this channel. Oh, it's because she's been lying down. She's not scratching because she got fleas. It's because she's been lying down. Buy more teddies. It's hard enough keeping these two under control. At it like bloody rabbits. Are you off, Ian? Are you going, mate? that 30 pence, and I know you're only messing around, Lucifer, but just to explain, that 30 pence, if somebody asks for 20 cards, they won't all fit in one envelope. Okay, so I put 10 in each envelope, for example, which then costs £2 or £1.40 rather than £1. I'm literally only basing it on £1 per sending in the post. So sometimes I have to put extra stamps on. So sorry, somebody asked about the dogs. I've got a pointer cross. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. I've got a pointer cross and a lab cross. Shall we make her famous? Come here. Come on. Hello, baby. Hello. Ow, Alice, don't jump up there. Hello. 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 Hang on, Alice. This is Daisy. Hello, Daisy, what's this over here? Say hello. No. Hello. 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 Right, don't get Alice's turn. And this fat lump is Alice. Oh, sorry, Alice. Make a jump then. You should do. Hello. Need to come around this way a little bit because nobody can see you properly. Look over here, fatty. Look, what's this? Oh, you're coming back, are you? Oh, hello. 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 Good girl. Down you go. All right, don't get. Come on. Don't get all excited now. Come on. Enough. The snorer is the black and white one. This one. Come here, snorer. Oh, this one's the snorer. All right. All right then. Come on. Down you get. Down. Get down. Get down. Get down. Thank you, Ian. A sack of coffee, maybe. Much appreciated. Yeah, well, they've always taken the lot. Well, Daisy's always taken the limelight from me, isn't she? Because of that snoring. If they weren't so much pain in the arse, I'd set up a YouTube channel for them. I don't have the time for it though, and they're a pain in the arse, which makes it very difficult because all you'd hear is me shouting at them. Shut up! Stop barking! Leave me alone! Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna. Which one's the farter? That would be proving Molly. In fact, oh dear. Oh no cakes. No cakes today. I need to some hand sanitizer because of the stroke the dogs. Uh-oh. Oh God. Did you see that? Don't need that much. Did you see it shoot out? That looks really bad. Yeah, what you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill it up with hair gel and then put it on eBay. I'll fill it up with hair gel, put it on eBay, £100, bargain at half the price. Oh no. Molly's been drinking, now I'm in trouble. Yeah, it's like you make one slightest bit of fuss of them and they behave. Don't be doing that, mate. Hammering. 12:15. Yeah, cats are only good for one thing. Holly's going to slap me hard. I better keep my comments to myself. I don't want to upset Joe Public. No, cats are. They're only good for one thing. Coating in batter and deep frying. No, it's not chow mein, it's meow mein. Like some meow mein, please. I've not heard any of that. I didn't see who posted that there, but talking about America making money on COVID-19 patients. Absert. Is it absert or aspert? Absert. I've not heard of that, to be honest. I've not heard any of that. I'll have a look. I mean, the problem is it's asking the right questions. So to find out from the NHS, you have to ask the right questions. Otherwise, they'll say something like it's not in a public interest. So it's something that you need to think about carefully in order to ask the right thing. Thank you, Liana, sorry. Where did you send it, Joe? What did you send it on? WhatsApp. Let's have a look. Yeah, man, that's it. That's it. Thank you, Reese. Yeah, I see it, Joe. Yeah, that's the road, mate. Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. You might be able to hear. I've got a fan running here as well. Let me unplug the fan a minute and. Let's have a competition. See if you can tell what they're watching upstairs. I will be having words. I'm up. There's no point in me going knocking on the door now. But tomorrow I will be having words about that noise. Thanks, Reese. You, Trinique, I think I've nearly got enough, yeah. Don't think I'm far off it. In fact, I was talking to Pinaki News about the type of camera to get because I saw one that I wanted, and he was explaining that because he's into his cameras, he was explaining that that the one that I was looking at has problems overheating and things. So I'm looking into which is going to be the best one to get for what I need. I mean, I don't need one that's going to be on a lot while I'm out, so it's not going to overheat from battery. I tend to do most of my stuff from here, so I can, if I've got one that I can plug in and use an auxiliary power to it so it doesn't overheat, then that would be cool. But still, I'm going to need something for when I do go out and use occasionally, if that makes sense. So he's kind of been helping me a little bit. Have fun with GTA, President Trump. Adrian, don't talk about that being a headboard. Their bedroom's right above my bedroom. And it sounds like they're still practicing making babies, which is annoying because I've got no one to practice with. Hi, Reese. Yes, they do. Well, they do, mate. Thank you very much. Terry Morris, in the description of all my videos is a PayPal link. If you go to that PayPal link, it'll take you through to a page. Click if there's a tick box in there, tick friends and family, because all you're doing is covering the cost of the cards themselves and postage. Make sure you write your address in. Make sure you write how many cards you want. And that's it, and send it over. There you go. Proving Molly's just posted there. Microsoft Cortana, I will do once we come off for the live. CW, yeah, if that's all you want, that's absolutely fine. The only thing is, I still have to do them price-wise in increments of as though there were 10, because I still have to pay for the stamp and the envelope. So as long as you're aware of that, I don't want to have you think that I'm trying to rip you off or anything like that. So it's still be £3, unfortunately. I'm hoping that I can get the price down. If I do, then I'll send everybody £1 back, or depending on how much they've sent me. Apparently, YouTube, with the memberships that they do, because you can, I don't know if you've seen some YouTube channels, and underneath the video they've got a join button, which is a little bit like Patreon, but you can do I think they take 20, I think it's 25%, I think it is, if you do a membership for your YouTube. But I don't want to do that as well. I don't, what I mean? I've got a minimum of £3 on Patreon, £3 per month. I don't see the point of doing one on here as well. Oh. Cool. Shouldn't all you lot be getting ready for bed? Got work tomorrow, haven't you? Talk about how many people are allowed out of your household. If you all live in the same household, then if there's 20 of you, then you can all go out as a group. If you all live in the same household. Getting ready for the hangover. Oh, it's bank holiday, isn't it? I actually forgot. When did Google get hacked? Even driving to go shopping, yeah. You can go as many people as you want. If you're in from the same household, they say don't do it. They say just, they'd rather say one of you go shopping for everybody, but there's nothing to stop everybody from going. The only thing is, what you got to think about is if you've all got to go in a queue 2 meters apart and the shops are only letting a few people in at a time, means you could be there for hours. Yeah, Wales is slightly different. Well, I'm not 100% sure on Wales with regards to going shopping or how many people in the same household can go out. I do know that you're only allowed out once a day for exercise. And I think it stipulates that. In Scotland, it doesn't stipulate how many times you can go out or for how long, but Wales, it does. That's true, Welshie. Get a vape. I have got a vape. I do have a vape. I'm running low on oils. So unfortunately, I'm not having as much of this tonight as I normally would. I don't know what that music is. But I'll tell you something, when I come off of this live, it's just gone midnight now. If I come off this live and it's still going on, I'm going to have to go and knock on the door. But if it goes off, then I'll wait till tomorrow and I'll have a word with him when I see him out. I'll just get a couple of knives on the burner, put a bit of Rocky on it. Unfortunately, John, most police forces have. Baby shit. You bet I was a member of the EDL. Listen, pal Brooke, right? I appreciate you putting money in, okay? But you know what? It's not going to stop me from saying, stop being a dick. All you've done for the last couple of days is come on and say really stupid things. And you're not giving yourself any credibility, mate. If you had something to say and you had something to back it up, then fair enough, mate. We'd have a conversation about it. But you're making comments that are ridiculous. Going around your park, being passive aggressive, all that. You see some of these videos that have been going up, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing this huge amount of passive aggressiveness. And I think, even with things the way they are, and even with people understanding that the police don't all necessarily understand the regulations and the legislation, if they literally spoke to you normally, I think then people may converse with them a little bit. but they're not. This is the problem. Oh, Neutronique. Let's have a look. Neutronique, can you it doesn't show your YouTube username. Can you just give me the first and last letter of your last name, just so I can see which one was you, please? I obviously don't want to say your name out. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha then. I didn't want to say the name. Do you know what I mean? Just for your privacy. But yeah, I gotcha. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Welcome aboard. This is the Darth Vader. What do you want? Do you want to go toilet? Right. Excuse me for a moment, please, guys. I just need to let these out the back door. I'm back. Stop talking about me. Oh, it's all gone blurry. Come on, focus. There we go. There we go. Done it. bloody raining. Can't believe it's raining after yesterday's weather. You can't hear me. Can you hear me? Can you seriously not hear me? What's going on? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah. Some people can't hear me. The mic's here. The mic's literally there. Less than a foot away from me. Can you hear me? Are you are you taking the piss? Is that what it is? Holly, can you hear me? Take the piss now, Holly, aren't you? Hey, there's no need for that. There's no need to mock me. I don't have a safe space to go to. How dare you? How very dare the lot of you, all of you, should be ashamed of yourself. It's all right. It's fine. I can take a joke. I'll just take away people's spanners. That's all. Joe, if you can't hear anything, you need to take your knob out your ear. Yeah, I think it's actually getting louder, to be honest. As I say, while I'm on here, I'm not, although it's a bit rude, I'm not overly fussed with being annoyed by it. But I will, as I say, if it carries on when I come off of here, which I'm probably about another 20 minutes or so, then I'm going to have to go and have words. Holly, yours will be the first spanner that gets removed if you carry on, young lady. Alan, they're taking a mickey. Pulling me plonker. That's what they're doing. Related to Ricky or Julian? Ricky or Julian who? Yeah, I worked that out about 10 minutes ago, Holly. Stop mocking me. I could put the microphone here and speak a bit louder, maybe. Is that better? Take it easy, Adi. Thank you for joining us. That was for the fart joke. Well, it wasn't. I don't think the fart joke was as bad as that. I'm trying to get comments are going mad. I can't keep up. Thank you, Stephen. Can we get serious and discuss the powers the police do not have? Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. The police do not have the power to stop an account. And that's the main thing that you need to remember about all of this. The police do not have the powers to stop and account. You do not have to tell the police where you've been, where you're going, what you're doing. You don't have to tell them any of that. There is nothing in the legislation, in any legislation, that says you have to tell them that. Okay. It's not, Steve, it's not something I'm going to do while I'm running a live stream. I'll deal with it. But I like to deal with things in a bit more of a private capacity. It's like if somebody does something on here, unless they're an absolute twat, then I'll call them out for being a twat. But if somebody does something on here that I disapprove of, I won't necessarily tell them on a live stream. I'll have a private chat with them. No, that's fine. That's fine, Old Tralik. As you're right, there's a lot of people that don't know. As I say, I did receive an email from a police sergeant, ex-police sergeant from Merseyside Police, just a couple of days ago, who has actually said I should put something together that tells people their rights. Now, I've got no idea how to do something like an ebook, for example, like Crime Bodge does. But something like that, I need to try and figure out how to do it. I think it would be very helpful and very handy for people to know what their rights are now that we've got all this stuff going on. So if I can work out how to do an ebook, I mean, I know how to do an ebook because you just do it in Word and save it as a PDF, but it's like laying it all out and what to actually put in there and all that kind of stuff. But dark light. Well, that's the difference, though, isn't it? That's the difference between me and them. It's not what I'm about, you know. I know you're joking. I know you're having a laugh. I'd just rather try and I just want to, if I'm going to do something, I want to try and do it properly. And I get pissed off if it's not to the best that I can do at that particular time. So yeah, anyway, yeah. So, right. I mean, there's going to be stuff that I can't think of right now with regards to what the police can't do. But the main things you need to remember about this situation is that the police have the power to disperse you. Okay, if you're in groups of two or more, sorry, if you're in groups of more than two. But, and what I need to look into as well is something that I've not seen anybody else bring up anywhere yet, is it says that you can be in groups of two. Liana, this may be something that you've dealt with or been told about. I don't know. So if you're there listening, just see if you can answer this for me. As far as I know, and again, this is off the top of my head at the moment, as far as I know, you can be in groups of two. Any more than that, and you get dispersed. It doesn't say whether that group of two have to be from the same household. It just says you can only be in groups of two. Okay. So when they say that a family can go out all together, there could be 20 people in a family and they can all go out as a group, as a family. But when they say two people, no more, it doesn't actually say that I can remember that they have to be from the same household. So they could be from different households. Yeah. Which is going to spread if one of them's got something and the other one hasn't, if that makes sense. Well, customs isn't something I normally deal with, to be fair. It's not, you know, I'm sure there are plenty that abuse their positions, but it's not something that I've had to really deal with. Is customs? It might be something to look at in the future for definite. Could your mate give you a lift to keep you out of taxis? Well, again, this is the thing. If, as far as I know, and again, Liana, if you can answer this might be something that you've had in a briefing or something like that. I don't know. The legislation, not the legislation, the recommendations are no more than two people in a group. But I don't believe the recommendations state whether those two people have to be from the same household. If it doesn't, and I can't remember off the top of my head, if it doesn't, then it makes it a moot point. It makes this whole no more than two in a group completely mute. Joe, I'll check it out myself. I'm more than happy to check it out myself. I'm just trying to find out whether or not Liana is going to be able to give us any insight on it. That's all. I will do Microsoft Cortana. I will go through all of the messages that I've got. I've got a ton of emails from doing these live streams. I've got loads of emails and WhatsApp messages. I will go through them, but I'm going to have to go through them afterwards. Right, no more than 2 people in a group, unless they are emergency workers or household members. But what I don't get about that is it's mute. It's a mute point, because if you're saying that you're not supposed, only family members should interact, because interacting with other people could cause a spread of the virus. But if they're saying 2 people that are not from the same household can meet up, then it makes it pointless. That's what my point is. I'm going to have to look into it properly. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll look into it properly tomorrow and see exactly what the wording is. But I'm sure it makes it a pointless, it makes it a contradictory statement, if you like. Oh, current climate's still about, Pat. Current climate is still about. He's a key worker, so he's working a lot. I'm not looking at comments at the moment, guys. If there's anybody asking questions, I'm not looking at the minute. Right. Joe, was that Joe Black that posted that about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Yeah, Joe Black, the thing is, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights does say that. You're 100% correct. But it also says in Article 29, Part 2, that in the exercise of his rights and freedoms, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by law, solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the rights and freedoms of others, and the meeting the just requirements of morality, public order, and the general welfare in a democratic society. That there is the clause, unfortunately. That's the clause that the police will use, or the government as well will use, to say that, what was it? To say that in order to keep public order, certain limitations need to be put in place. And that's the problem. Dave, do you know, you know what you're saying there with regards to consent. This is something that I find very, very interesting. Now, I don't know if anybody else has ever thought of this, but this is the way that my mind interprets this. The whole thing about consent, we're governed by consent. Consent of the public, they call it, don't they? The problem is, we elect people to act on our behalf. Okay. When we elect people to act on our behalf, they are the ones that deal with the government and say yes or no to the government. Okay. Now, to me, as long as we're asking people to represent us, then there is that person who is making decisions on our behalf. So when a new bill goes in front of the government, and they all decide whether to allow it to go through or not, they're making a decision on our behalf because we've elected them to make decisions on our behalf. So as long, in my opinion, as long as we are electing people to act on our behalf, we are giving our consent to that person to make the choices for us. So in theory, should we not take that consent back of the people who we are electing by not electing people? Good night, Justin's World. Yeah, Liana, sorry, that's the thing. That's what I mean. I am talking acts because the law's the law at the end of the day. No harm, loss, or damage. Yeah, no harm, no loss, no damage. Everything else is an act. But the thing is, they treat it as law. Okay, the government and the police treat it as law. Now, the reason that those acts get passed is because the MPs agree to them. Now, if we didn't elect MPs, then we wouldn't have people to act on our behalf. So that consent, the whole thing about consent, in my opinion, is we're giving our consent to an MP to act on our behalf, to make the decisions for us. So we're actually giving up our individual consent by voting for somebody. Does that make sense? So if we remove the MP, if we remove that agent who is acting on our behalf, then they would have to come to the public to ask the public, shall we put this in law, or shall we pass this as a legislation, or shall we not? Because at the moment, we're allowing the MPs to do it for us. And that's where I think they've got us. That's where I think we're screwed when it comes to this whole policed by consent, because we cannot take our individual consent away. We can't do it. I know people think we can, but you can't. You're still, if you take your individual consent away and you go and do something wrong, you're still going to get nicked and put in prison for it. End of. Nothing you can do about that. But if we take the consent away from the people acting on our behalf, if we do not elect people to act on our behalf, the government are going to have to put it to the public. Now, I've always said, and I'll always say, politics is not my thing. I don't really understand politics or anything like that. I don't follow it. I don't vote. I don't do any of that. Right. As far as I'm concerned, it don't matter who it is. They tell you what you want to hear. And then when they're getting their 90 grand a year, whatever it is, they couldn't give a shit after that, because they're making a fucking mint, aren't they? At the end of the day. So, so that's why I don't bother with any of them. If we want to get the power back, we have to stop letting people make those decisions on our behalf. Exactly, Lucifer, which is why people need to stop voting. Everybody moans that, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Everybody, it doesn't matter who you vote for, doesn't matter what political party you're involved with or interested in. When they get in power, everybody always has something bad to say about the party they voted for at some point. They go, well, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? They're not doing it, okay, because they never intended to bloody do it in the first place. Only way that we can do it is, as I say, is to take that power back by not electing people to make decisions on our behalf. Yeah, if there's a new legislation, it should be written in a way that everybody can understand. Okay, everybody can understand, and everybody should get like these voting forms. Everybody should get a form, and everybody should have a look and say, well, actually, that sounds like a good idea. Yes or no, that sounds shit. No, send it back. Independent body, verify the numbers, and if the majority agree, then it goes ahead. Simple as that. But it should go through the public, not through people that we are electing, because they're speaking for you and me and everyone else out there. Even if we don't want them to, they are, because we've elected them. But I've seen some of it. I haven't watched it all. I watched last night. I was up till nearly 4 o'clock in the morning. I had it playing while I was going through comments. Paul Harris, unfortunately, because there's no deals on at the moment, the price has gone up slightly. It's £3 for 10 now, I'm afraid. Yeah, Joe, that's right. That's talking about the destruction of the rights, though. That's talking about removing rights completely. Any of the human rights have a caveat that they can be put on hold, which is why we can get put in prison. Yeah, if we do something wrong, we can get put in prison. So there are caveats when it comes to the Human Rights Act, and they can be suspended. Some of them can be suspended, but they can never be removed completely, supposedly. Steve Masters, no worries, mate. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Oh, battery in my lights died. I will do when I get round to it, Alan. You can appreciate the amount of, as I say, I have to spend about 12 hours a day doing the PAT reports. Weekends are my only time off, and even then I'm answering comments and looking stuff up still. But I do try and find time to do stuff like that. That's what the squeaking is. I did see that video, Dave. Yeah. They are noisy. They've just, as I say, they've just put down more laminate floor up there, which is going to make it a bit more noisy, unfortunately. There is a potential, or rather there was a potential before this bloody lockdown. I was looking to move back to Essex into a house. However, it's all fallen through because of this bloody lockdown. So I'm kind of stuck here at the moment. Buses and trains are supposed to be still running due to getting key workers to work, or those people that cannot work from home. Take it easy, Welshie, mate. Boobies? Where? Where are the boobies? Did you get it, Daisy? Did you get it? Holly, don't forget to board up your back door. Don't, don't want any, don't want anyone sneaking in your back door. Moves, they're not quite moves yet. They're not quite big enough for a training bra, so I'm not doing too bad. J and 4, no, you're not invisible. It is. This live certainly won't be getting monetized. Yeah, sorry, Jane. I haven't seen any comments from you. The comments are flying by so quickly. I'm missing loads, so I apologise if I've not been able to see your comment. They are quarter to one now. It's yeah, not sure what I'm going to do yet. Might get the drill out, drill and the hammer, hold a drill in one hand and start banging on the table with the other. Oh, are you off, Ultranique? I can't start singing because the dogs don't like me singing. I swear to God, when I'm in the kitchen doing the washing up or whatever, and I've got Magic Radio on, and I'm singing along, they come in and they start jumping at me to tell me to shut the fuck up. What do we think about complete anarchy? Well, I don't particularly want complete anarchy. We need to have rules. We need to have laws, and we need to stick to them. Anarchy's bad, in my opinion. Anarchy's bad. It's it's happened many places at many times in history. It's happened, but it's always been bad. I'd rather not have to go down that route. Do I know what anarchy means? It means disorder, doesn't it? Yeah, but it also means disorder, disarray. Yeah, right. Anarchy, I believe, is related to monarchy. Yeah, monarchy were rulers, right, and anarchy is the opposite of that. Yeah, but it also makes, because rulers were the ones that ruled everything. So therefore, with no rulers, there's no rules, which means there's going to be anarchy, and that's another definition of it. I think it is CW. Yeah, I think the singing is that bad. The dogs just want me to stop. It's worse than a dog whistle. I think that's what the problem is. AP, yeah, man. I did go off for a bit, but come back. And I was only going to sit on here for another half hour as well. Well, when I started it 2 hours ago. What have you been up to anyway, AP? I know how you feel, mate. I know how you feel. It's just putting everybody off kill, isn't it? I'm sorry, Joe. I've had to put you on a timeout for a minute. I know you're going to not like it, and I know you're going to be upset. I don't want people bitching at each other in the live stream comments. I don't mind people having a laugh. The only people that should be bitching at each other, right, seeing as everybody here watches the channel. Everybody here likes the channel. I like to think anyway. And the ones that don't generally show themselves up and start calling me a prick and all the rest of it, those people I can deal with, no problem, gone. I do not want people just bitching at each other in the comments, no matter where they're from. I know Liana's a police. She's police, and that's fine. For that reason, we've spoke. And Liana, I'll say this because I'm always truthful to people. Okay, I won't ever trust you fully because you're police. I can't say it any other way. That I've got to be completely honest with people. Okay, but you have, in my opinion, you have the right to be on here, same as anybody else. If half the people on here were police, they have the right to be on here to listen and to see what I'm doing, which is why I do this publicly on here. I don't hide this from anybody. Anything I do or say is all done on here, live or on video, and it's all public. But I just don't want people that are bitching and arguing with each other in the chat. If you've got something to say, then deal with each other directly, please. Let's not do it in the chat. And this is not all directed at you, Joe. Okay, it's not all directed at you. I'm telling everybody, I don't want people arguing and bitching and having a debate in the comments. Fine, okay, but with people bitching and arguing at each other, I fucking don't want that shit going on here, man. Come on, anybody. She made a threat to Joe. What I saw, and I don't want to get into this because the last thing I want to do is call people out in live streams. That's really not what I want to do. Okay, because it's not about embarrassing people or singling people out. What I saw, and I might not have seen it all, but what I saw is Liana turned around and said, I think it was maybe he should have a visit after he called her a pig. Now, she may well be a pig, but am I calling people out? Am I taking, am I calling people names, who are in the chat? I'm not doing it. I don't expect other people to do it either. If you're talking about somebody else, if you're talking about the police in general, then fine. But being personal to people, I don't want that shit going on here. I don't trust the police. Higher self. I do not trust the police. No matter who they are, no matter what they say to me, no matter when they say I'm your best friend, I don't trust the police. That's just the way I am. But that doesn't stop me from not wanting people to what's the word I'm thinking of? To attack other people in the chat. Gaza, there's in the description. You should be able to do it in the description. There's a link. And by the way, because I know you're still watching, Joe, I just want to say this is not about sticking up for the police. You, of all people, should know what kind of a person I am. I've helped you loads with different bits and pieces, and it is not about sticking up for the police. It is about having some respect on the channel. If not for each other, for me. Do you know what I mean? I respect everybody where I can, unless somebody disrespects me. Lucifer, if you can still hear me, try refreshing your screen. I don't think anybody else has said that I've disappeared, have I? Matt David, how you doing? Welcome. Matty Dan, I'm good, thank you. Yes, Trump's still here. I won't be for long, though. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I think if anybody can't see me, try refreshing your screen. People on a wind up again, are they? Can you actually not see me? I don't know what's going on with the lack of picture then, if anybody is having trouble. Would I ever fuck a copper? I don't know. Maybe I could bring her over to the light side. I'll tell you something. I've probably banged a few people that do jobs that aren't very good or nice. Oh, these dogs want to go out again. Listen, guys, I'm going to wrap this up because the dogs want to go out and they're going to want a little run in the back. So I am going to I'm going to wrap this up. Sorry to those people who have just joined the live stream. But thank you all for joining this evening. It's been emotional. Thank you all for jumping on. Appreciate it. I know we sometimes go off on a bit of a tangent and talk all sorts of stuff. But I enjoy it. I enjoy speaking. As I've said to you all before, I enjoy just speaking to people. Do you know what I mean? And doing this because I don't get out much. So this is my only contact. Games and vlogs, thank you. Unfortunately, I'm just about to wrap it up, I'm afraid. I was on for about 2 hours previously and we've just done another 2 hours. And I need to go because the dogs are getting restless and they want to go out and I can't keep them any longer. So thank you all again. Appreciate your time. And I will see you all tomorrow in tomorrow's Pack Reports, hopefully. So make sure you're there, 7 o'clock. Until then, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.